like in wakey mode?
Wait, no, he's clinically depressed right now because I told him he was a retard. Welcome to the Go Pen Podcast.
We are apparently going to be going over something really fucking stupid.
First, before we give backstory and everything, Lundi, tell them what just happened for a good hour.
Well, we were waiting around on Matt to pop up, and since he didn't, we decided to play Mario Kart.
And
so that's what we've been doing.
I fucked Lundy's brain and ass.
I think I've won way more than you have
Incorrect.
at this point.
Incorrect, and I beat you.
I beat you at Rainbow Road. I beat you at your favorite fucking spot. The fucking what's it called? The fucking ice place.
Snowland.
I
beat you with the better characters.
He used Homer. I swear to God, the black kid is definitely cheating.
Describe the things that happened as you were entering that second lap or that second race.
Well, we started off at the starting zone, and I saw a young African boy's face just staring at me,
smiling.
I couldn't handle it. It got me, definitely. It beat me psychologically, as I was like, what the fuck is that? I couldn't even get close to him because it would just get... I would just be approaching the smiling little kid. It would just keep getting bigger on my screen. I would watch him go around on the mini map and just watch this little African kid's face just zoom in.
When I was hitting the mushrooms over and over again. I hit
just
the bullet
zoom
bill.
and just zipping around.
I hit the mushrooms and the bullet bill, so it was going real fast, and then it became giant on the map, chasing him. Right, so you didn't just pick a fight and lose because you're gay at Mario Kart. You also picked a fight with someone in a gayer way somehow.
Yeah, somehow it gets even gayer.
So for anyone out there who doesn't know, Lundi is a dumb bitch who plays D&D.
Yes, indeed.
The big Lundi story.
Yep.
So we're not gonna read names here, because these are people who are actually like loosely associated with me, and that would probably be a bad idea.
Yeah, we're not gonna read.
That is a tradition on the D&D server that you just kind of name, you in parentheses, you put all of your various different character names that you go by as well.
Let's call him dumbass.
So, long story short, over the past 7 months, I played a very sporadic D&D game. We've only gotten about 12 sessions in, and it has been not fantastic. Mostly as a result, at least from my perspective, of one particular fella who is a bit of a bitch.
You might need to explain D&D.
Oh yeah, D&D is this game where we get together, we nerds, we very nerdy boys, virgins, all of us, every single one. And if you are a girl and you play, then you are now a virgin boy. I'm sorry, that's just how that works.
Good man.
And we get together, we roll dice, and we use those dice to determine whether or not we win in our imaginations.
This is what white people did when they found out that black people played dice back in like the 40s and 30s. This is their attempt at taking it back.
We couldn't be satisfied with regular dice. We had to like add a whole bunch of like weird creatures to it.
In a way, everyone who plays D&D is actually supporting racism.
Yes, we're all culturally appropriate black people, and no, it doesn't matter that black people play the game. They are also virgin white boys because they play D&D. That is the transitive property of D&D. That is how that works. Didn't say those words exactly, but you feel free if you'd like to.
It's gonna be even better when I bleep it.
So
imagination gets to try to figure out what I said.
there's two different like sort of schools when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. There's the old school. These are the people who don't really like believe that story matters all that much. The whole idea of it is just go into dungeons, kill monsters, get loot, get out, rinse and repeat. Just keep doing that. Maybe a little bit of role play here and there just to like give a reason that you're doing all these things, but that's the main focus. And then there's the new school. The new school is more or less birthed as a result not only of Pathfinder, but also because of Critical Role. A very popular fucking D&D game that podcast, I guess, that a bunch of voice actors do that has like a bajillion fans, that's gotten a lot of people into Dungeons and Dragons in general. So the new school is very much focused on storytelling and role play and focusing really hardcore on your individual characters, giving them very dramatic moments, things like that.
Even gayer than you thought.
And well, the player who had a problem with me in this particular campaign was very much a person who is the former, but also wants a little bit of the latter, but really only for himself. So Matt, would you like to read this screed that he has written about me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me send it over to you. This is what he wrote the day after our 12th session together. Where the fuck are you, Matt? There you are.
I'm fucking right here.
I'm talking about in my DMs, you fuck.
Why don't you get a lippy with me?
So there you go. Just try to avoid saying any actual names.
Like
Mine's
did?
fine. Yeah.
Also, I don't even remember your name.
Well, I'm the Alex being referred to here, so that one's fine.
Oh yeah, you are an Alex.
Yep.
Anyways. After careful consideration of the events last night and discussion with, I have decided that
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Look, I'm just going to skip over the names. I'm not even going to come up with a name.
Well, that's the GM.
I'll call him M.
Okay.
After discussion with M, I have decided to withdraw from... Oh, fuck. How do I scroll over?
It's on the bottom if you need to scroll over, Matt.
Holy fuck, this is like a mile of fucking shit over. Why did you format this?
I didn't format that. That's
just
just what it sent you. For me, it automatically formats it to fit my screen. I don't know why the fuck it's not doing it for you.
No, 1 second. I'm gonna fucking download this shit.
It's just a notepad. It shouldn't be a big problem.
All right, here we go.
I was gonna say, as he figured out, I walked away for a second to get something.
He's figured it out. He's downloaded it, so now he can read it properly.
The part I can't tell if it's sleepiness or blindness or retardation.
I'll fucking goddamn beat your ass and eat your feet, goat.
Well, I think that answer is one of the three.
Hey, blah. After I've decided to withdraw from the game effective immediately, there was a time and a place where I would have allowed someone else, i.e. M, to address this, but that time has long since passed. This is not a public face in post. Just let me shit.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is the first part that kind of made me laugh a little bit. Him saying like, "I'm not going to post this publicly." You're lucky about that. Just like as if anyone's going to give a shit.
I will say,
fuck you, Lundy's pulling a Steven Seagal from Machete.
If
anybody's going to cancel Lundy, it's going to be Lundy.
Exactly.
Lundy, I'm going to say we are pretty lucky that he didn't send that to anyone else because we get to do it.
That's true. That is true. Well, he thinks I'm lucky that only a few people will see this, which is still true.
That's the joke.
And you are lucky that there are only a few people who will see this. Frankly, the behavior exhibited by you, Alex, has been so unprofessional and
like
antagonistic.
A dad scolding you.
First off, this wasn't one of your paid gigs.
No, I'm a player in this one.
Then fuck, what is unprofessional?
Oh, so here's the unprofessional thing. We are all paying for this game ourselves. That's the thing. So we are spending money on this game to make it work.
That's not how being a professional works in any universe. I
We are
don't
all-
become a professional McDonald's buyer because I bought McDonald's this morning for fucking breakfast.
I think the logic is if we're all paying for something, then we should all be respecting each other's time and shit like that.
Yeah,
No,
you can't be troll- you can't be trolling me in a CS:GO lobby. We both bought the game.
Yeah.
You hang out with everyone. I am of the opinion now that everyone who plays D&D is a giant emotional retard.
yes.
This guy definitely is.
Why do you
I
think we have to make pretend with fucking spells about empathy and shit? Because we're all autistic retards who bit people as children.
I like that Lundy tried to pick me himself. Meanwhile, Matt's just like, no, we're all pretty much.
No,
one."
we are, just generally speaking. I've been in enough games to know that nobody knows how to fucking talk like adults.
We should be hunted down in cornfields like the fucking astronauts in Planet of the Apes.
This is just a particularly egregious example.
Fucking lobotomized.
All right, keep going.
I have no desire to sit at a table with you ever again. I have
Yeah.
already played in a game with C and left. C is for cunt. Good enough for me. I'm the cunty monster. Gobble, 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 gobble. You're getting silly, Napalm, right now, because I literally just woke up like 5 minutes ago.
It's the best one.
We gave him one Mario Kart thing in order to wake up, and that's not enough.
It's the best one.
At that time, I smoked my cigarettes. Just trying to wake up. I was smoking those cigarettes like a cartoon character eating a piece of corn on the cob.
Sleepy dumbass Matt is almost as good as Matt on cocaine.
Or Matt with his balls drained.
That's gonna be my personal survivor's guilt. I'm never gonna forgive myself for losing the H Bomber Guy review where you just screamed at him while you were high on coke.
Yeah. I've already played in a game with C, left for the exact same reason, for the exact same shitty behavior. I don't need to play a different game with C. Why is his name in parentheses at the end there? Like
it's him attempting to be artistic to indicate that I am also C. I am acting like C, and therefore now I am a C as well.
I mean, you are a C.
In a very different fashion.
Everyone should have referred to him as F, A, and G.
Ooh, this one kind of hits close to home today. Your frequent tardiness shows that you have zero respect for anyone at the table. Period. We were all paying a significant amount, I might add, for M's time, only to have to waste a significant amount of it waiting for you. In the best case, the rest of the party stood around and did inconsequential things until you arrived.
Can I take a minute to ramble
Yeah.
for a second?
That gives me a second to sip on some delicious Mountain Dew.
So I don't know if anyone is hearing the thumping sound.
I'm not.
It's the drums they're beating.
That's so I'm gonna fully admit to retard mode right now.
Okay.
I cannot find a knife, so I'm just dropping a cantaloupe on the ground over and over again until it's
So, in regards to this tardiness thing, this is true, kind of. We started playing back in like the early fall of last year, and our original game time was slotted for like 10 a.m. and I could not make that consistently, so I'd be like a half hour to an hour late. Hey, you got it. I see it. I see you got it.
Picture of that.
I
should be put
however, as of December, we changed that time to 7:30 p.m. and I haven't been late since. So he's a few months late on that.
Who the fuck plays D&D at 10 in the morning?
I don't know.
Lundy's group.
They did for a while, and I didn't enjoy it because I couldn't get up at that time. I don't go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning, so like fuck.
Yeah, they're dumbasses.
Weren't some of your paying people want you to play at like fucking 4 in the morning?
No, they wanted me to play. They wanted me to play until like 2:30 in the morning. It was weird, but that group changed, so I don't have to worry
In
about
the
that
worst
anymore.
cases, you jump in and immediately take over the scene that has been set with zero knowledge of what is going on. How does those two things follow? Like we do inconsequential stuff until you arrive, and then you immediately take over and ruin the inconsequential stuff.
Well, he's saying in the best cases we do something inconsequential until you get here. In the worst cases, we are doing something and then you come in and take over, even though you don't know what's going on. That's what he is saying. Which
You know what that's called? Role playing and improvisation.
I would tend to agree. I would tend to say
Maybe
that coming in, seeing a scene, and reacting to the information I have is more than reasonable to do.
this often leads to undercutting any sort of tempo, themes, or beats that the party has been working towards. A prime example of this is the initial encounter with the Beholderkin. They're like a floating eyeball thingy.
Yeah. Specifically, this one was a spectator, which is a smaller floating eyeball thing.
It went from a creepy scene where the party was exploring, dodging rats, finding an eviscerated Robin corpse, to a comedy philosophy hour the moment you showed up. Oh, I'm sorry, Lundi decided to have fun in his dumb game designed by nerds and children. Heaven fucking forbid there be some levity in this bullshit.
Some context to add to it. It was supposedly creepy before I got there, but then when I got there, we found the Beholderkin, and we're like, "What's your name?" And he says, "I'm called the Rays." Because that is what people say when they see me. They say, "Look out for the Rays."
I called the Ray Sizzle my shizzles.
And I just laughed at that, and I was like, okay. And
see, I'm already laughing because I'm assuming like the fucking Beholder's talking like Snoop Dogg.
Due to the fact that my character had gotten his shit
they
kicked
call
out
me
of him before.
The Rizzle. For sizzle. Also, too, on the note of beholders are some of the goofiest fucking monsters in all of Dungeons and Dragons.
That is true.
They literally, canonically, all have pet fucking goldfishes.
So because
for no other reason than the fucking makers of the game were like, hey, wouldn't it be silly if the evil giant floating eyes that hate all life just really love goldfish?
So, because my character had previously gotten the ever-loving shit kicked out of him by a lizard folk before, he didn't particularly feel like fighting this thing, so he figured, fuck it, let's like trick it into guiding us around by praising it and calling it like the greatest thing ever, and saying that it can kill us once we see our final thing that we want to see. Let's do that.
So you use knowledge of the monsters against them.
Yes.
Instead of just having a big fucking dumb fucking fight where you crunch numbers for 5 minutes.
Basically, yes.
What game does this fucker want to play?
A game where we don't.
Because honestly, it sounds.
And we just kill them, and that's all we do.
It sounds more like this guy would just like to put numbers into an Excel sheet.
He does that a lot.
I'll tell you what game he wants to play. He wants to play the game where he can escape the fact that he's 35 and a GameStop manager.
The age estimate is not far off.
I'm going to escape this toil of 40-year-old virgin.
8 years a slave. This is like, yeah, this is more pathetic than the white slave in D.GG. And no, I will not be giving context to that statement.
Not
No.
yet. Maybe next time. Maybe when we
Yeah.
get him on.
Yeah, here's
That's-
hoping. Knock on wood.
That's
I haven't seen him in the last 3 days since that conversation, so I think the CCP might have taken him to a re-education facility.
right now he's sitting over 2 flaming locks while somebody's great grandfather is screaming at him in Mandarin.
Yeah, just shoving a shit-covered punchy stick into his shoulder blade. We've already seen this behaviors exhibited by you in the Lizard Folk village twice that I can recall. Vasir, Kalak, and Kachaka.
I love that that's how you chose to pronounce it.
I don't care. Like, these are dumb fantasy names. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like I'm like, look, I don't give a shit about real cultures and how they pronounce their dumb fucking godless fucking script.
I
You think
just love you went way more ethnic with it than anyone else ever has.
Under question.
Yeah, well, I went more like Klingon.
Which is fair. He is a Githyanki, so basically.
And they are kind of Klingons, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you think that this guy would be more angry, or do you think he would just be sitting here crying if he was listening to this right now?
Probably more angry. This is a guy who can't like consider the
Look,
idea
I've already
that
made one
perhaps-
nerd cry this week. You think I'll stop at fucking 2?
That makes me very happy.
This guy is very much incapable of understanding that anything he does is silly or dumb. He cannot. He's always right about everything, and everything he does is perfect, and everyone should defer to him. And he's the only reason why any games actually happen. He's the main reason why any of them are fun. He's the only reason why any of them are any good. He is the best role player and the best D&D player that has ever graced D&D. That is this guy's attitude. So any mockery would just result in more annoyance on his end. He wouldn't cry because he wouldn't consider it as in
That's
any
like
way
being the best virgin.
yeah. He wouldn't cry because he thinks that everyone is just wrong and they don't understand that he's right about it at all. So he's very much
It's like,
the
well,
living
my dear sir, I'll
personification-
tell you this. I'm so much of a virgin, I can't even comprehend what pussy feels like. It's like H.P. Lovecraft thinking about an Italian. It just drives me into insanity.
Go ahead and keep going, Matt.
I've all gotten into pissing matches with NPCs far above their strike. Again, that is one of the fundamental parts of Dungeons and Dragons. You be a murder hobo. You fight motherfuckers. Burn down a tavern maybe for no fucking good reason. God, he would hate playing with me.
Oh, he would absolutely despise
He would fucking just love playing with me.
it.
Keep going.
Remember the time were you in the campaign that like Dixie just immediately derailed with the elf genocide?
No, but I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, that was a fun game. I was gonna be a good guy in that game, and then it's like, well, I guess we're just genociding elves now. Wasn't there a cult we were supposed to be dealing with? Every time it has come with significant detriment to the party. Oh, you mean conflict? The main thing that drives narrative storytelling?
Yeah. As a bit of context, Visir was a monk that I played. After having saved a town, he got all big for his britches, went into an underground arena and tried to win some money for his girlfriend. And then he fucking got the shit kicked out of him. Which then, caused a little bit of a downer for him. But then several of the other players and their characters like consoled him. They brought him to a brothel, so that was interesting. And this led to a whole bunch of interesting character development. With Kolak specifically, he hated all other Dragonborn because he believed them to be like self-righteous pricks. So he challenged a Dragonborn captain to a duel when he found them, essentially oppressing a whole nother like village, city's worth of people. And the captain beat the shit out of him. But in the process, another one of the characters came forward and defended Kolok and became more or less the person who is considered in charge of the group, more basically.
I want
So
to go through every word of that sentence and break its fucking jaw.
Give it a fucking swirly.
So this idea that like this is like a bad thing that I'm doing in spite of the fact that like other
The
people
giant
build off of it and
swirly
shit,
given Rube Goldberg machine.
despite the
Just have
fact
like
that
the Looney Tune music playing the whole time you're fucking waterboarding all of those nerdy words. Da 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 da.
So despite the fact that this was good for just about the entirety of the party and everybody had fun with it, apparently that was bad that I did this, and it was bad when that I did it again.
Lundy, don't you know? Dungeons and Dragons isn't about having fun; it's about winning.
Mm-hmm. And if I lose a
That's
conflict,
the whole
that's a
point of
bad
the
thing.
game.
That's
Because
a bad thing if I lose a conflict.
as we
Oh.
all know, when you beat the adventure, you get. So yeah, it's all about winning.
This is funnier considering what Lundy's gonna do immediately after this episode's over.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be playing D&D right now, and
Is it the Destiny game?
yeah, they are not. They are messaging me a lot right now. Like, where are you? And it's like, you know what? I'm the cleric. I don't need to show up. Well, like,
yeah,
it's not like I'm important or anything.
The healer has never been necessary to a D&D.
Look, half of the fucking party has healing abilities at this point.
Fair. Okay, then yeah, fuck it. They don't need you.
We got a paladin, a druid, and a ranger.
Yeah.
I'm very tempted to go into that server right now and just at you and say, man, I sure do love hanging out with Matt right now at this very moment.
Feel free to continue, Matt.
Where was I? Considering this
The fact that
behavior.
he would even consider this behavior.
The fact you would even consider this behavior while the party is trying to figure out what was even going on is atrocious.
Atrocious.
Atrocious. Look, I'm sorry, real life's not. Do you think the people during 9/11 had a moment to fucking think? Do you think the people on the Titanic as it was sinking into the cold, dark ocean had a moment to think?
All of the rest of the group decided to start speaking a language my character didn't know to come up with a plan. So my character's sitting there watching them like speak in a language that he doesn't understand, and then watching another person basically be like, I'm going to take over the entirety of this clan and we are going to fucking basically be fascists now. And I'm just like, well, I have to stop this somehow. And he's mad at that and calls it atrocious.
C was famous. Oh yeah, famous C.
Yeah, he has a very inflated ego in terms of the level of reach that this small D&D community has.
I was gonna try to make a famous Amos connection, but I'm still too sleepy. I got too many cobwebs in my brain. Joke probably won't work anyway, so I don't even know why I'm doing this little aside. You are not the main character. Work with others to tell a story, not expect them to stand around in awe of how abstain, brash, and brave your characters are. Why is brave in quotations?
Because he doesn't consider it brave. It's that he's trying to be clever and indicate like bravery should not be confused with stupidity, and your character is stupid, not brave. You know, that whole thing. Of course, you would only know this if you understood exactly how pretentious this guy is and the fact that he constantly talks like that.
Did you guys ever get on camera
Yes.
during the... Okay. 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
How round is he?
He's a pretty chunky boy.
Exactly.
Second one. How bald?
He's not bald. He has a slight receding hairline, but he's not bald.
Does he have glasses?
No.
Does he have a lazy eye?
He has a tiny face.
like a Tucker Carlson face.
Yeah, or rather, what's his face?
He looks like a fucking Oni character.
He has a Billy Quizboy face.
Yeah, he has a Billy Quizboy face. He has a tiny face, which is what makes his forehead look so big.
To be fair, at least Billy actually has a reason for his looking small.
Now,
fucking
this whole thing about like, oh, you're not the main character. We're not around here just to stare.
Oh,
in awe
speaking of
you.
this shit, Lundy, I found out why I was on trial at GG.
Why?
They were trying to pin the trans debates on me. And I was like, look, motherfucker, I bitch about the trans debates. I don't start them. If I started them, every trans debate would be like, look, if you care this much about trans people, kill yourself.
Yeah. So
like, if you die, you won't have to deal with this shit anymore. And if you have, oh man, there's this one woman in there. She started an 8-hour trans debate because she's like, oh, my children. And I just wanted to be like, to fucking be like a stressed out hamster and do to them what you do to your, do to them.
Do to yourself what you would do to them.
He's trying to get out the fact he wanted her to eat her children.
Exactly. I wanted her to eat her child head first.
Yeah.
Because that's what hamsters do. They eat the babies head first.
No. Leg first. Leg first.
You're
Legs
trying
first,
really
first.
hard to say it. It's just like getting jumbled up.
Yeah, the sleepies were really like coming out in that one.
So the thing that I like about this particular line is that I'm not the main character and everyone else isn't to just stand
This
there
really
and
feels like
ooh and ah at
something
me.
written by somebody who thinks they're the main character.
You are absolutely correct, Matt.
Have you guys ever seen that Robot Chicken parody of Ocean's 11 that they did? Where
I thought you were gonna be like where they play D&D and the jock the jock older brother finger blasted the fucking nerd girl.
No, in that respect, Lundy is somehow the jock in this situation. But more importantly, when we were talking about Matt not being able to form the sentence, I just thought of that they did this parody of Ocean's 11 where it's like 50 random characters from pop culture, and then they go, "All right, ready, go," and then they all get stuck in the doorway. What?
It's like the germs in Mr. Burns' body. So what you're saying is I'm a cunning linguist. No, I'm saying you're a mushmouth moron. A cunning...
Feel free to continue, Matt.
Your inability to listen to the values, wants, or needs of others came to a head when you decided it was time to turn the game into the Alex Show. Like the Dick Van Dyke opening, and Lundy is just crap falling all over his house. Once again at the magic. What's the magic stone?
So we were.
Is it an actual magic stone, or is it like an inn?
Yes, it's a magic stone. So we were exploring a cave and we found a magic stone, and it had a massive aura around it where if you casted a spell inside of it, it would be like twice as strong as it normally is. He basically, because he's playing the wizard, he's like, everybody sit down and let me just like examine this for 30 minutes. And I'm like,
oh, a nerd playing a nerd.
And I'm just like, well, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of exploring around and try and see what I can do with this new gift that we've been given here, narratively speaking. At one point, I was told by the GM that there was like a big old crack in the ceiling, and we're in a cave. So I'm like, oh, is there light coming through? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So then that means we're probably close to the surface here. So let me try something. And I get up on top of a fucking pillar, and I like aim a thunder wave like directly up to just blast the fucking stone out of the way. Now apparently the crack is actually like 150 feet deep, not like 10 feet deep like I thought it was. So I ended up having like a bunch of rocks fall on me. And this guy thinks that I should have had 100 tons of rock fall on me, like directly on top of just me, because that happened. I don't know how he got that. He did like some sort of weird calculation and determined what 20 square feet of rock weighs. And he's like, that's
He's
100 tons
one
of
of
rock.
those.
And I'm like, why would all of it directly fall on just me?
He's one of those assholes. He probably thinks the fucking bit from 8-Bit Theater of like the ice spell, the Rod of Holden, and the immovable rod in the bag of Holden is an actual fucking thing.
Oh, he's definitely one of those guys who keeps watching like various different YouTube videos about like, here's a cool thing that you can do in D&D. And then and they go through like math. And then he's
You know how
sitting
I
there
figure
like,
out how to
yeah.
do cool shit in D&D and Pathfinder? I just look at things and I get dumb ideas.
Yeah.
You know how Scarbeak came about, Lundy? You know
There's
what?
no yeah,
You
what?
want to know what the actual genesis of Scarbeak was?
What?
I wanted a character that could do cool shit like Levy from fucking Attack on Titan.
That's fair.
And Scarbeak kind of just evolved from that. Because I kept putting things in like, oh, I want to focus on called shots. I want to be able to be dangerous when even I don't have a weapon. So that's where the add in the monk levels came in too.
This guy has never done anything in a game that you can't Google and find a YouTube video of some GM talking about. Never.
I think the only time I ever looked up stuff for like character builds was when I first started Path. When players are pleading with you to let them gather more information, it is not the time nor the place to trample on the goals. I should have been reading this in fucking Jordan Peterson voice.
Wouldn't be terribly far off.
Yeah.
When he
It's
says
not-
when he says when players are pleading you with you, he means him.
We're supposed
Just
to
him.
be earth shattering kaboom. There we go, I got it.
Third person.
And as far as trampling on his goals, here was his goal. He wanted to use this magic rock to cure an NPC. We were here to find like materials to help save because the NPC was cursed. We don't have a spell to remove curses. So we had to go to somebody else. And they were like, I need diamonds. So we go into the cave to find some diamonds. And then he's like, well, fuck that quest. Let's bring him here to this dangerous cave. And and I will use a spell to cure him here because it'll be stronger. At which point I did not simply say, no, we're not going to do that. I said, there's a lot of problems with that idea. Number one, we already made an agreement to get diamonds for the lady, so we should probably just stick to that plan. We're already
I look
here.
at how you play D&D, and it makes me sad.
Number
Just
two,
follow the dragon of chaos.
Number two, the curse will probably get stronger the moment it touches this thing too. Number three, you have no idea whether or not this is going to work.
I think Goat dropped.
He might have for a second.
He did. It makes me very sad.
So I gave him like 3 valid reasons why his plan didn't seem like it made much sense or it was going to work, and basically he just got mad at me because I did that.
There he is.
So
now I'm less sad. You can hear it in my voice.
So that's what happened there. You can continue.
Father, the bucko has washed his penis.
So me trampling on his goals is me saying your plan doesn't sound like it'll work.
Your ridiculous action should have resulted in you being killed outright, blah blah blah. Be as generous as possible. You had vaporized nearly 90% of the material. Hundreds of tons of stones would have turned flesh and blood into pulp. It just makes me sad. If dropped directly onto you, the fact that you have your way. Fuck, I can't keep that
up. I know how hard it is when I'm asked to do voices.
Yeah. Tried to defend this decision, bordering on absurdity. Even M acknowledged this should have been done significantly more damage.
Yeah. So because there was a miscommunication, the GM was like, I'm not going to have it kill you outright, but you are going to get hurt. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And he's upset about that.
Meanwhile, he's just, no, he should have died.
Yeah, that's literally exactly what he was doing.
Answers like these are immediately rational philosophies. Oh, this is funny knowing you.
Yeah, the thing is, he knows that I majored in philosophy, and
Having
I
literally
think,
played in a D&D game last night with you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lundy's always
that
bringing
fucking
in the
thing.
philosophy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely doing that all the time.
We weren't just laughing at Mr. Popo New Jack and the new form of racism we had created last night.
I am well known for saying, "Excuse me, everyone, but have we considered whether or not this follows the Hegelian dialectic?"
I thought you were going to say I'm well known for creating new racism.
Well, that is true.
Because that's more, honestly, my real house. Just inadvertently saying a monster name wrong and being like, well, there we go. There's a new slur, Bazaboo.
So
Of
he's
every
upset.
action you take, both in... Also, too, isn't that playing a character? Justifying
a
your
reason
character's
for wrongdoing.
actions with a philosophical outlook.
Yeah, it kind of is. But you know what? Having reasons for the things that you do is annoying, and it's like really, it's just it bothers you so much.
Ugh. This guy probably sees fucking alignments as just... Oh yeah, like you gotta be... There's no variance. Like if you're a paladin, you have to follow the law.
It's worse than that, Matt. He thinks that like if I have a valid reason to be racist against a group of people, then it's actually a good thing that I'm racist against them.
Like in the game?
Yes.
Okay. I was...
I don't know
worried
exactly outside. He is a conservative, so who knows?
there. I mean,
But,
like,
yeah.
let's be honest, like... Racists love fantasy for a reason.
This is a guy who yelled at a gay guy saying that "Don't say gay bills" isn't a big deal, and he should stop worrying about it. So you know.
Oh yeah, they're just trying to legislate away your existence. Why should you care?
Yeah.
You're freaking Nova. Okay, what's going Nova? Like, do you just...
This is the
Is it like your version
term
of...
that he uses.
Is this like your version of like, watch out guys, I'm gonna go Nova, and you Nova everywhere. All over the place.
No, this is a
I'm
term that
going
he
Nova.
frequently uses, wherein you use a bunch of abilities that is not entirely necessary in order to fix a problem, and you end up being out of resources.
So how 5th edition was designed to be played.
Yeah.
Gotta fuck him off because he's Lundy faggot.
Your answer to anything in your way is to immediately ask the most damaging spell possible. Again.
Here's the thing. That's not even true. Because the problem is, I'm the cleric, and I have been tasked with being the tank and the healer of the group. So I don't have the ability to just cast whatever spells I want. Because I'm only level 3, I'm very limited, and I have to heal myself because nobody else will. So fuck. I have to just take shit and then wait until I take damage and then heal myself. That's what I have to save my spells for. I don't get to do the fun shit.
Keep going.
You there, Matt?
Oh shit, I was muted and talking the whole time. Because like this part coming up, it's like, okay, this is a crazy person.
Yeah.
Whether it's an inconsequential enemy, a door to the mines, or the ceiling, you have spent more spell slots than the rest of the party combined in the last 4 sessions because you do not ration your abilities at all. Instead, long rest at any time your behavior has resulted in any sort of minor inconvenience for you, and then complaining about how you couldn't contribute.
So let me explain exactly what this is.
Wait, I'm gonna, like... Dipshit, what if it's like martial classes? Of course he's gonna be casting more fucking spell slots than the rest of the fucking party. What are you talking about? Spell slots
Of course I am. One of the other party members is a fucking warlock. They only have 2. One of them is a rogue. He has
They don't
none.
even got spells. They got cantrips.
One of them is a ranger. We're level 3. He has like 2. So it doesn't really mean anything to say that I use more spells than they do. But regardless, so this is in result of.
It's like complaining to the rogue, like you're doing more damage per round than everybody else. It's like a fucking sneak attack, dipshit.
So on Friday's session, this is the first time in the entire dungeon crawl, and we have had a lot of fights that I have had to have a long rest because I am at 7 HP, I have 0 spells left, and we have the Warlock and the Rogue left because this guy and the Ranger decided to fuck off back to town because he wanted to go through with his idea of just bringing the NPC here to heal him. And even though 3/5 of us said, no, we're not going to do that, he was like, well, we're doing it anyway. So now that they're gone and I literally am about to die, I'm like, let's go back somewhere safe so I can rest. And then the entirety of the game was spent on fucking this dude and the Ranger fucking around for like 3 hours. And then like there was like a half hour of the Warlock getting to do something while we were resting. And that's it. That was the whole game. And I complained at the end of that session, like, I only got to just say I'm going to do a long rest, and then I didn't get to do anything else the entire game. And then this motherfucker is like, well, I have 2 spells left, and the Ranger has a spell left, so, like, who do you have to blame but yourself on that one? And I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind? So that's what he's referring to here.
Ooh, my lucky fucking stars, the Ranger hasn't angled.
The Ranger only used 1 spell. Interesting.
Oh, you mean the class designed mostly around their martial abilities only used 1 spell?
Fuck me.
Next you'll be telling me the fucking rogue was trying to flank a motherfucker.
I imagine. Just fucking imagine. So we are past halfway done here.
Honestly, this sounds more like this guy's problem is he doesn't like 5th edition.
I think that's also true. I don't think he does. He clearly has a lot of issues with it. Though he enjoys exploiting it whenever he possibly can. Whenever he finds some sort of like vague rule or something that he can potentially like push in his direction, he'll fucking go with that shit as soon as possible. There's a reason he made his character a halfling, so that he could reduce himself and be carried around by his familiar. As if people haven't done that shit before.
I thought it was gonna be even more just cheesy and be like, oh yeah, the luck.
That too.
He
also heavily relies on his luck.
Your off-the-cuff comments at the end of the last session were so far off base, but I still tried to play along. What did you say, Lundi? What did you do?
So, here's the big crime that I made. During the session, when he and the Ranger went off on their own to have their own little solo adventure, the DM basically said, I'm going to need a moment to prepare. I wasn't really prepared for you guys to
By
do
the
this."
way, real quickly, this guy's bitching about you being a shitty D&D player. Motherfucker, you split the party.
Yeah.
The cardinal fucking sin of Dungeons and Dragons.
So the GM is like, I'm gonna need a moment. I wasn't prepared for you guys to do this. I need to figure some stuff out. Give me a few minutes. And that ended up taking like 10
almost
minutes
like
of us just
it's
sitting
almost
around.
like the game's designed for you to be in a party most of the time, and it's really inconvenient when players decide to split themselves off from the fucking dumb bullshit that's probably not going to work.
And so after the session, I had said, hey, maybe it would probably be a good idea if in the future we're maybe more clear about what our intentions are, so that Mark, the GM, sorry, I said his name, fuck it, so that he can be better prepared for what we're going to do.
Let it be known, Lundy fucked that up before I did.
That is true. So he is at least a little bit better prepared for what we're going to do, so that we can have a more streamlined experience here, so that he doesn't have to, take a break and try and figure stuff out, that sort of thing. So long as we keep a nice open communication, I think that'd probably be a good idea. That was the off the cuff comment at the end of the session that was just so far off base. He's so upset that I said that.
You have Discord perpetually set to do not disturb. It is impossible to reach you in a timely manner. You make assumptions that I have not discussed things with M prior regarding. That's a weird way.
Hey, Lundy.
He didn't put a comma there. He should have.
Lundy.
What?
Would you like to tell everyone what I spammed at you while you were doing your D&D session once recently?
Oh God, what did you spam at me? Let me take a look, because you do that sometimes.
Look up XD. Look up XD in our chats and go to the second one.
XD.
Yeah. It's the second
And go to the second one. I'm out here running a D&D game and you're doing this shit. Where am I here? Oh, yeah. So Ghost just like spamming me videos. Nick Mullen's cat, learning to be alone from J-Reg, some fucking video shop video. He's adding me saying, "Don't ask me to explain this. It's funny."
It's everyone that it's a bunch of friends I have, including Lundy and Matt, and it's a stupid fucking meme video that we made set to the song "Woke Up in a Bugatti."
And then he
Lundy,
keeps doing it. Yeah.
Did I send you?
I'm asking Lundy questions like, "Do you think I could eat my own fist?"
He's on the phone with a girl that he was talking to at the time, and he's like made a meme of me. It was just not a great time for me to be looking at my Discord. So yeah, I do keep myself on Do Not Disturb so that I'm not constantly being chirped at by Discord a bit. I guess there's some way to fix that without doing that, but I don't really know how it works. But here's the other fucking thing.
You know what's fucking me up with this sentence, Lundy?
What?
Prior should be in front of intentions.
Yes, it should be.
Regarding my prior intentions.
Yes.
I was gonna say it's funnier that he's like, it is impossible for me to get to you when literally
Is this dyslexic?
When literally you can literally not. The thing is, this is a lie. He's talked to me before in DMs while I am on Do Not Disturb. It's just a lie. It's just a straight up lie.
If anyone else that was in that group was like, "Oh yeah, he's got a point" or something like that, we literally spam you whenever we're like wanting to talk about something, and you respond.
Also, speaking of Nick Mullen, I'm just thinking, this is remind me of, like, the gay wizard bit. You couldn't even bother to answer a simple question asked, is D playing in one of your incessant bitching? Yeah, you're the one incessantly bitching.
Yeah.
Could not have been more open mouth, insert foot. M is literally my best friend. He and I have talked almost every day. And I prod this campaign channel constantly, just trying to get any level of communication right from the very beginning of this foray, often to complete silence. Gotta scroll down a little bit.
He's just lying about this. It's just all lies. He hasn't said anything. He's never reached out to me about the campaign. He's never done any of this. He's just lying.
It is like pulling teeth just to get people to agree to show up to a given day. So literally every Dungeons and Dragons group ever since Gary Gygax decided, hey, you know it'd be neat with these little war minis? Let's make a dungeon for them to explore. Let's have our little dolls play in a house.
Yeah. Ever since then, the main problem that everyone has always had is finding a nice time that everybody can come to meet.
Yeah, it's always been like, fuck, I can't do next Saturday. Can we do Saturday 2 weeks from now? I'm like, no, that's not good for me. I got a sciatica. To insinuate I do not communicate is fucking stupid. Oh, he predicted that one, Lundy.
Yeah.
He predicted your line of attack against him. And your self-righteous aggrandizing at my inability to ask what had happened in the only session I have missed is hilarious, considering that my request and the answer to the question you just asked are in episode session notes. I have since removed my YouTube VODs of this game. I'm sure those were just, lighting up the fucking,
Well, he did upload them
charts.
privately. His thing was I'm only going to record them so that we can reference them if we need to remember what happened at any particular time, which he never did. He never looked at them, so I don't know why he did that.
The behavior exhibited in the final 10 minutes of last night's session was the final straw. I quit Arc immediately when C pulled this same disgusting shit to D and destroyed the character arc. L. Is that
Leopold.
Is that a character
That's
name?
a character name. That's a character name.
Okay, that's what I know. I know how to pronounce Leopold.
Okay. Okay.
I get it. I'm a mush mouth, and sometimes it's like, okay, Napalm might not know that word.
So, what he's referring to here, and by the way, D is in the game that we're in, and he completely disagrees with this. But anyway, what he's talking about is that in this Arc game, this C guy, he was playing a big dumb barbarian guy who just kind of like wanted to fight everything all the time, and he wasn't really all that invested. Didn't really listen to anything that the other characters were saying. Didn't really care about them that much. He was just like sitting around waiting for a time for something that he can hit with his axe. Which is fine. There are groups for that, but this wasn't really like a group that appreciated that particular mentality. So D was playing Leopold, who was petrified by a basilisk at one point, which caused him to have, PTSD concerning basilisks. The group came across some basilisks, and Leopold had the ability to face his fears, but C was like, "Ooh, monsters," and ran over and killed them. Before Leopold got to do anything about it. So D wasn't too happy about that. Kind of a little bit miffed that he could have had a moment there, but C kind of took it from him.
Yeah, because I'm sure those were the last two basilisks on the entire planet. He would
well,
never
they were specifically put there for him to have that moment, but C didn't pay attention, didn't care.
Well,
So,
guess what? Like, it's called realism.
yeah.
Sometimes fucking arcs aren't tied up into a neat little fucking bow. Sometimes
yeah.
your characters fucking die. God, I would hate to play fucking something like Call of Cthulhu or fucking Paranoia with like this guy, where it's a game intentionally designed around, yeah, you want to make multiple
yeah, your character's gonna die.
characters. That's legit.
So yeah, he's comparing that to me trying to help an NPC that was dying in front of me. That is what he is comparing to that. Apparently that was a great crime of me because he wanted to do that. It was his time to do that, and I took that away from him.
You know, Lundy, I was going to do the whole bit of like, I wanted to do the whole bit of like, oh, I'm going to just side with this guy. Because fuck you.
Yeah.
But it's like, no. This guy is like the kind of D&D player I hate too, so it's like, no. Even if it meant getting one up on Lundy, I'm not helping this motherfucker. You began the session by saying, I took stuff to help. Like what, drugs?
Spells. I had just finished my long rest, so I changed my spells around.
Oh. Knowing full well the only thing Tony... Fuck, I did it!
No, that's his character name.
Oh, okay. Had discussed was using lesser restoration with the hope of it could become greater restoration because it was the only thing we had. We spent the better part of the last two sessions attempting to position Tony to learn something about himself and to show, not tell, the party what kind of person and what kind of trauma Tony had gone through. Your selfish actions, taken immediately at the first opportunity, centering only around your character, immediately undercut the entire drama and narrative building process. is based on watching to be the main character. Motherfucker, you are not Matt Mercer. You're not Brendan. What are you doing here?
I love that he says we have spent the better part of the last 2 sessions. It's just him. Those 2 sessions were entirely about him and what he was doing. We didn't do shit. At least 3 of us were stuck in a cave waiting for you to get done with whatever bullshit you wanted to do. Don't say we, motherfucker. It's not we, it's you.
Also, you split the party.
And by the way, what exactly would this show about your character? That you abandoned a quest to save an NPC because you got a wild hair up your ass of an idea that has been explained to you why it might not work. You had no argument against it, but you decided I'm doing it anyway, and you brought that sickened, cursed NPC to a dangerous place filled with monsters so that you could have a moment to heal the NPC and have a moment being like, oh, I'm such a clever doctor guy. What the fuck? No, here's what this would have said about your character. That he's a fucking arrogant little shit. That's what it would have said about him. And I'm not sure that's the message you wanted to tell.
Also, how big was this magic rock? You kind of just
It was like attached to the ground.
taking it?
It was a pretty big rock. It was like a pillar.
I mean, still, there's like mules and shit.
Yeah, but it was like in a cave. We couldn't like feasibly bring our horse in.
That's why you get a mule or a donkey. They're small.
We didn't have a mule or a donkey.
Well, you need to get a mule or a donkey.
Also, there's no guaranteeing that, like, you know, you break it away from the surface. Like, oh, magic's gone. You know.
Politely, I just want to linger on that word for.
Yeah. At the end of this entire tirade, where he's called me fucking stupid, that I don't communicate, that I have a main character complex, that I'm impossible to get in touch with, that I am an arrogant bastard, that I always try to justify everything that I do in a way that I guess is unjustifiable, that I'm stupid and that I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, that I push everyone to the side arrogantly to be the main character. After all of that, politely.
I'm not going to continue to pull my hair out and trying to make this game a thing, only to be shit all over by a guy who can barely bother to show up, undercut anything of substance, and has a main character complex. The end.
So that's the rant that he made about me. It was funny, and my only response to him was a singular sentence, which was to say, I disagree.
You know what your response should have been?
What?
Let me grab the picture.
Is it you are the big gay?
No, it's even better. Because this would have 1000% have set him off. It's loaded, as you can tell by my internet.
Yeah, that picture. Okay. For those listening, it is a picture of a baby that says, "You stupid gorilla. Now that you've wasted your time constructing a barrage of words, I get to send this pre-made baby meme with no effort. It's almost like a spit in the face, isn't it? Shut the fuck up, you dumbass."
Yeah, I've got it. Did I tell you I got Mr. Girl with this one time?
No, but that's funny.
Yeah, because it was when he first got into the D.GG server, blew up, and he was just doing dumb Mr. Girl shit, and I was like, "Oh, can you type that out? I'm kind of hard of hearing, and I'd like to know more about your cogent point." And he typed out like 2 paragraphs worth of shit, and I just posted that. It's just like, gotcha, motherfucker.
If you type that, I'm a little bad of hearing.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's great? You know what's great? Everybody else in that VC knew exactly what I was doing.
No one warned him.
Because I was not being it was like a man covered in blood holding a knife.
It's like watching a deer walk into like
a car. Yeah, the biggest fucking car ever.
It was so yeah, that was
It's
was
like watching
him.
a deer walk into the
He's,
fucking 1989 Batmobile.
He said, I'm not gonna be here anymore. He excused himself from the game and blamed me. I said I disagree, and that was basically all I said.
You feel bad about bullying somebody?
About what?
About bullying someone and being ableist
Oh,
to
this
the
guy deserves to be bullied. This guy definitely deserves to be bullied. Mostly because until he's bullied enough, he's never going to realize that he's the reason why he can never find a game that works. When he is in a group of people who all defer to him, all give him complete control over the narrative, all tell him that he's so smart and so brilliant and so great and so awesome, and basically just kowtow to him the entire time. No, I'm not that type of person. I've never been that type of person. And so, if that's what he wanted from me, he's not going to get it. So, of course, inevitably, we were going to butt heads. He has attempted his best to privately message the other players in the group to get them to turn against me. He has been somewhat unsuccessful.
that rules.
The other one of the other players is entirely against him in this. That's D, that has been mentioned a couple of times, saying that he has no idea what he's talking about. Well, the GM, who he is quote unquote best friends with, has informed him that he is raging like a little boy, like a little child, and that this is inappropriate and not a good idea. So, I think I
feel
came out on top here.
Vindicated. After your unintentional game of kick the retard.
The only thing that the other two players kind of agree with him on is that me casting that spell to heal that guy was actually a dick move of me to do. Now, I disagree with them, but I'm also not going to argue with them because they are free to believe what they want. Because I'm not like this guy, and I don't try to make everyone think the way that I do.
I allow all cultures to believe what they want. I'm just a simple man walking through. What
Fuck
was that?
this guy.
Oh, fuck.
Man, this guy's
before-
such a cunt. I think I'm gonna go back to bed and not play D&D tonight.
DGG's gonna know.
Before you do, fucking.
Fuck, I forgot I did mention that. I guess I gotta go play.
I can cut it. It's all good.
No, you know what? Fuck it. Well, this will be uploaded like a month from now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Real quick, Lundi.
Yeah.
I just remembered something I wanted to bring up because I don't want to forget. Can you tell Matt about our new character we came up with?
Interstellar Morgan Freeman going around realizing that the entire galaxy is filled with people who keep calling him the N-word.
That he discovers objectively.
I went to the planet Dubadaba. They had 90 variations. They called me every single one of them.
Exactly that.
I went to a planet that was nothing but. I went to a planet that was nothing but ants, and I didn't even get the touchdown on it. I was about 5 miles above.
They formed a bunch of crumbs into the N-word.
I started to see that end, and I knew what was coming, so I turned around.
Now, I'll be honest, I might have judged them. They might have been spelling out "nice to see you," but I didn't want to say to find out.
To one civilization, and that word was just how they spoke. They only spoke with that word, and yet somehow, even with that, when I touched down, they all started using it in they somehow made it a slur.
They used it so incredibly aggressively against me that it became a slur all over again.
Specifically for me.
I went to the planet Shawshank, where they crawl through rivers of shit, just to call black men the N-word.
I was I was considering whether or not this was a sign of something, and then I noticed that the stars are starting to spell out.
I like to tell you that somewhere out there in the universe, there is a place where a black man will not be called the N-word.
No, it's not. It's not a black
But-
man. It's specifically Morgan.
It's specifically Morgan Freeman.
it-
Like another black person comes along with him at some point. He guest stars as Neil deGrasse Tyson, and they don't call him the N-word, but they call Morgan Freeman the N-word, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson then calls
They're wrong
Morgan
to
Freeman the
say Neil
N-word.
deGrasse Tyson deserves to be called the N-word more.
I remember what was funny. It was that it's Neil deGrasse Tyson is doing his fucking dumb Cosmos show, and like Morgan
I
Freeman.
brought along with me noted black genius Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Morgan Freeman is touching down in the background, and Neil deGrasse Tyson just turns around and screams the N-word at him. He goes back and talks like, I don't know, fucking electrons or something.
It's like fucking aliens. Like he just starts convulsing, and the N-word just bursts out of his fucking chest.
No, it's more like the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where he just turns, looks at him, and points his finger, and just says the N-word really loud.
Where's that meme? Where the alien?
This is another fun bit. I was thinking, like in Avatar, like bloodbending. Like you bloodbend somebody to say the N-word. So like their body is just horribly contorted, unnatural. Literally finding themselves not say the N-word.
Morgan Freeman going to a desolate wasteland society. Like no one's inhabited this planet for millions of years. And he finds a bunch of hieroglyphics. He just finds one that represents himself, as just has the N-word. He just sees a bunch of characters. I knew what it was. I didn't even have to think for a second. He turns around.
I went to the desert planet Arrakis. The worms called me the N-word. Don't got much more on that story.
500 galaxies, over 3 billion species.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far.
I somehow traveled to the galaxy from Star Wars, and that whole text crawl was just calling me the N-word the entire time.
The only one that didn't call me the N-word was a Jewish fairy that tried to sell me a woman.
Morgan Freeman enters the Star Wars galaxy, and the text scroll comes up and is just saying the N-word at him over and over again. He just sees a giant wall. Bum, 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 bum.
The boldly go where they will not call me the N-word. This is the mission of the USS Morgan Freeman. I am the only person on this ship.
I politely asked the entire crew to leave, as they were only referring to me as the.
Now I'm thinking of a Star Trek, the next episode. Now I'm thinking of a Next Generation episode where Data learns the N-word and Geordi has to explain to him, like, look, you can't be using that word, Data. He's like, why?
Data singing Johnny Rebel at the wedding instead of.
My eyes are singing the glory of the traveling at the zoo. I'm not going to finish this song. You can look it up.
Now I like coffee and I like tea.
Have I told you that movie has ruined a particular bit of Fallout 4 for me?
Which one? I'm getting
so in Fallout 4 there's a location called the Museum of Freedom. And during one part of the Museum of Freedom, they play the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And literally, all I can fucking think of, as soon as I hear that opening note, my eyes have seen the glory of the trampling at the zoo.
Yeah.
Not gonna finish that song. Yeah.
Look it up.
Notice it's something so bad that it's like, yeah, I'm not even going to say this on the podcast.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, so what? So a song about a bunch of animals on trampolines at the zoo is
Yeah,
all
it
of a sudden
is.
pop?
Yeah, that's definitely what it's about.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's 100% what it's about. It's
Look,
like,
I'm just gonna say that if anyone doesn't believe that, they should definitely look up that song and listen to it in full. That's all I'm saying. Should listen to it in full. Turn up your volume all the way so you can hear it properly.
Really listen
or
to the
look
lyrics
up,
and
or look
understand
up
what
the
the actual
fucking,
message behind them is.
or look up the Boondocks version of it. That one's a catchy. That
They did make a catchy
one's
one
really catchy. Mainly because it's literally just them
So,
rhyming slurs off of one another.
there.
anyway, you figure.
President's, not gonna finish it. I mean, I guess technically the president is still one of those, depending on how you view the.
President's a freeman to me. Oh fuck. Okay, so
I'm
that
just
was the
imagining Morgan Freeman going through like the Rick and Morty portals to like millions of universes.
Ah, geez, Rick. I've been.
Oh, geez, Morgan. I'm too lazy to finish that.
Something, strangling his granddaughter-in-law.
So I know
Do
this
you
is like
know about that, by
super.
the way?
I don't know.
Wait,
I
Morgan
know-
Freeman strangled his granddaughter?
No, he's married to his granddaughter-in-law, if I remember right, or his niece-in-law.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I know
got
this is
them.
like super nerdy of me, Matt, but I'm thinking about doing it anyway. I'm thinking about just like turning this whole fucking ordeal into like a TTRPG horror story and just posting it up.
Oh fuck. Okay, Lundy. Final thoughts. Matt. Final thoughts on D&D.
Oh. Well, fuck this guy just generally. He's just a piece of shit, and I hope he never finds a game that he enjoys.
I'm kind of sad Morgan Freeman can't like explore the universe now
Yeah.
instantly.
Why? He can do it.
No, because he's gonna be called the N-word all the time.
Yeah, that's what's stopping him.
Yeah.